What is going on, beautiful people? I am Lee Hammock, the diagnosed self-aware narcissist known as mental illness, and welcome to another episode of A Narcissist Explains. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the only acceptable apology from a narcissist or toxic person: consistent, changed behavior. Stay tuned, like and subscribe for more. The only Hoover that should ever work on you is consistent changed behavior. Y'all be leaving these narcissists and toxic people and accepting the bare minimum apologies to come back, to return to them, to return to that toxic situation that you had left previously. An apology without changed behavior is just manipulation. Them saying I'm sorry but turning around and blaming you is gaslighting. Them saying I'm sorry, I can't live without you, I'm going to unalive myself, is emotional manipulation. Change behavior, consistent change behavior is absolutely the only thing you should accept as an apology. Them saying, oh, I feel bad for what I did, but you kind of, it was kind of your fault too. That's not an apology. Them begging and crying and pleading is not an apology. Narcissists cry too. I can cry on cue, y'all. I think some people get it twisted thinking that narcissists can't feel emotions and can't cry. So when they cry, it's like, oh, you might not be a narcissist. Wrong. Consistent changed behavior. So, welcome back, y'all. CCB, consistent changed behavior, is the absolute only Hoover or only acceptable apology from a narcissist or toxic person. Let me go and get my neck stretched out. I'm about to go on a rant. Make sure my blood is flowing. Y'all better get a rant here, y'all. So many people always ask me, why did your wife come back? Lee, you tell everybody to leave. You're a hypocrite. You're the biggest narcissistic hypocrite on the internet. You tell everybody to leave their relationships, but your wife stayed. Why are you different? Blah, 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 boop, 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 beep, beep, beep. You understand that I don't tell people to leave unless you've been getting beat up physically. I tell people, is this the life that you want? If this person is more than likely, high percentage chance, not going to change who they are at their core. Are you willing to accept them for who they are? If not, it's time to dip. But your wife came, I've been in therapy for 5 years. I've been working on myself personal development wise for a decade and a half, 15 years of personal development, reading books, doing seminars, doing all kinds of things, working on myself. My behaviors have consistently been changing. My wife left me March or April of 2020. And I left her alone. She was expecting me to just blow her up, not leave her alone, pop up at her job, doing all the narcissistic things I tell you the narcissists will do. And I thought about it. I'm like, that's not gonna work. My therapist said, you can probably overwhelm her into coming back home. But if you want her to stay, then you have to change your behaviors. You have to long-term, this ain't no short-term solution. Long-term, leave her alone. Consistently left her alone for a few months, and we ended up going to a marriage counselor and getting back together. And I've still been in therapy from that point forward, working on me, being vulnerable, talking to her more, consistently changing and opening my life up to her more and more and more. Consistent change behavior. Well, Lee, how long should I wait to know it's real? What does consistency look like to you? Because some people like different consistency of eggs. Whisk those eggs up, whisk that cake batter up, whisk it until the consistency is to a level of your own personal liking. What does consistency look like to you? Some people it's a few months. Some people it's a few years. Some people it's never. You cannot, you've treated me so terribly. There's no level of consistent change behavior that will change how I feel. And that's how a lot of people feel. They've done so much mental, physical damage to you, emotional damage to you, that there's no amount of consistent change behavior from a narcissist that's going to work on you. And that's okay. Because and this is how, again, I always tell people, how do you know if it's consistent change or they're just doing it to get me back? Take the relationship off the table. Remove the relationship from the table. Do it. Take it off the table. The relationship is no longer available to you. Take it off the table. This relationship dynamic is off the table. They can tell if they're changing for you, if they're working on themselves for you, it won't work anyway. Consistent change behavior is them working on themselves to be a better version of themselves for themselves. And if they're working on them, if they're truly working on themselves, it bleeds into the rest of their life. If I cut my wrist or I cut my hand, it bleeds on everything beneath my hand. It doesn't. I don't bleed up. I bleed down. So if I'm working on myself, I cut this. That trickles down to every other aspect of my life. It just does. I have to work on myself for me. Consistent change behavior is them working on themselves for themselves. It's selfishness. Consistent change behavior is a different level of selfishness that ends up helping them being selfless more. Because I truly believe you cannot truly be a selfless person unless you have a level of selfishness in you to work on yourself first to be able to get to the point where you can be selfless. You can't give from an empty cup. You can't. All right, here you go. Let me be selfless real quick. I'm gonna pour from this empty ass cup. Here's some air for you. Here's some nothingness for you. You have to work on themselves. Consistent change behavior is consistency over a period of time. And that consistency is dependent on you. You have to ask yourself, even if this person works on themselves, will it make a difference? Can I get over or get past the things that we've been through, the things that they've done to me? Is this stuff truly unforgivable? If it is, it's time to protect yourself and distance yourself. Take the relationship off the table for good. That's why I tell people, consistent change behavior. You tell everybody to leave, but your wife stays. So you act like you special, blah, 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 boo, boo, boo. I don't act like I'm special. I'm working on myself consistently. I live by what I practice what I preach. Therapy for 5 years. I got another appointment next month. I'm working on me. I'm working on me. For me. And working on me, for me, is a level of selfishness that I've had to internalize to be better for everybody else. I can't be a better person for anybody else if I'm not a better person for myself. If I'm not treating myself better, if I'm not acknowledging myself, if I'm not able to validate myself, I can't treat anybody else better as a narcissist. Narcissists don't change. I never said I did. I just said my behaviors have been altered. Consistent change behaviors, not consistent change person, consistent changed behaviors, because that's what matters. The title of narcissist is irrelevant. Narcissist, everybody's not a narcissist. Narcissism is just a term that women made up to hurt around, blah, 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 blah. It's the behaviors. It's the behaviors behind the narcissism, or the behaviors that are the treatment. It's the treatment. It's literally the treatment. It's the behaviors. It's not the title. It's not the diagnosis. It's the behaviors. Consistent, changed behaviors. Do you feel, how do I know if it's consistent? How do you feel? Are you feeling like you can trust this person now more? Over time, you think it's going to get better over time? It's about you. Don't base it on me. Don't look at me and get no hope. I've been in therapy for 5 years. I'm going to be in therapy for the rest of my life. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with being me. I'm fine with going to therapy. Therapy is part of my life now. I'm damn near I got popular on social media because I go to therapy and I'm talking about it. That works for me. They have to find something that works for them. And until, like I said, don't let them drag you to marriage counseling. Marriage counseling, couples counseling does not work unless that person is willing to work on themselves. It doesn't work that way. You can't work on the unit. You can't work on the unit if the individual pieces are broken. Hey, this foundation is cracked. Let's put them together. No. You can't build a healthy building, a strong structured building from a cracked ass foundation. It doesn't work that way, y'all. It really, truly doesn't. I hope you understand that. So consistent change behavior is the only acceptable apology. I have to cut this thing short, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode. Like and subscribe for more. And as always, mental illness is out. Peace.